The pick is in. Caleb Williams is now officially a Chicago Bear. So let all the speculation begin. Let's turn right to fantasy right now. So Derek Brown, where would he be on your board? I don't think he'll be in the top 12 QBs. Am I correct in that assumption? We're looking at more super flex style for Caleb Williams in year one. But what does that look like in terms of draft rank, immediate impact? You had a lot of time, obviously, to think. And Caleb Williams is very excited. The young man takes the podium, hugs Roger Goodell, takes the jersey, takes the hat. Of course, you still have the best hat of the night, no matter what anybody tells you, Derek Brown.
Well, first of all, I'm glad Roger's feeling good enough with the news earlier today of the back surgery that he feels good enough to give Caleb a nice little squeeze there. But as far as the redraft appeal, I've got Caleb Williams right now in my early ranks at QB 17, and I think you can. The case for him starts anywhere from QB 13 on down, and I've got him in a long tier of guys where they're QB2s, but can they be QB1s depending on the season? I mean, we're talking about like Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, like all these different guys. Like it depends on the passing volume, what happens with the passing touchdowns, if Caleb runs a little bit, because we saw that in college. And so I like Caleb Williams. I think, but you hit the nail on the head there, Joey. Like Superflex, I think he's much more viable. I'm willing to take a swing on him in Superflex, maybe more aggressively, because in redraft, he's probably not going to be drafted in a lot of spots for redraft. I mean, okay, maybe your 12, 14 teamers, maybe somebody takes a shot in the
Sure,
later
taking the second
rounds.
quarterback, I could see that. Maybe things
Yeah.
go well as this season goes on. Thor, now that the pick is officially in there, do you have a projection in terms of stat line for Caleb Williams that you think is reasonable in year one with the weapons and with that offense that they have in tow?
He's gonna be a very good fantasy player. And one thing that I would tell people is that athleticism that he uses to create, he is looking to be the thrower, and so that's how he leverages it between the 20s or between the 10s. But once he gets down near the goal line, I think this is where fantasy players' ears should perk up. There's an interesting quirk about Caleb Williams' game, which is in that area within the 10 yards in particular, but within five even more. That element of his game of getting outside the pocket and how comfortable he is in conjunction with never throwing interceptions. Like he only threw 14 career interceptions over 1,099 career attempts in college. The thing he needs to work on is more carrying the ball like a loaf of bread, and then the guy comes from behind and slaps it. But the interception, the decision making that he makes with that is very good. The way it manifests near the goal line is he'll get out there on the perimeter, be looking, and you're terrified because he can just dart that laser, and it's in the guy's hands in a millisecond. There's no way you're going to be able to get around him. So everyone has to play their coverage assignments very, very tightly. Well, if Caleb doesn't like it and he's out there, he just walks right in or runs right in. He ran for 27 touchdowns over 2.5 seasons as a starter and was tremendous in the red zone. But like I said, even more so within 10 yards because of this. He doesn't make the mistakes, and he is absolutely willing to run it in himself. That will begin to do a jukebox effect or a slot machine effect with fantasy points in the NFL because he's going to steal some of those close touchdowns from his receivers.
Caleb Williams already, the pick is in, 3,600 passing yards last year, 30 touchdowns, 11 rushing touchdowns. And look, it's not just the wide receivers, Derek Brown. He's also got Cole Kmet. He's got DeAndre Swift. There's a lot to work with here in Chicago for him. So the ceiling is potentially there for him to finish as a QB1. Is that correct? Probably maybe sneak in the 10, 11, 12 range potentially in year one.
Yeah, I think he could be QB8 to QB12. I've got a really good question for you, Joey.
Yes.
Does Caleb Williams in his rookie season set the Chicago Bears single season passing record? Because I just had to look it up. 3,838 passing yards by Eric Kramer holding the record. Does he set that record this year? Because I think he does.
I think it's in the, as you like to say, Derek Brown, the range of outcomes. The 30 touchdowns, which, by the way, also no one's ever done that either for the Chicago Bears. It's just stunning. I think both are in the range of outcomes. I think both fall a little bit short. I don't think he might get over that Kramer mark, but I don't know if he's going to get to the 4K mark. I think somewhere in between that would be reasonable. But I mean, he's got the wide receivers to get there. I think he's also one of those players I would also imagine, Derek, that camp is going to matter. If he looks really good in camp and everything looks really strong in preseason, like you don't take a lot out of preseason. When he's seeing like a rookie quarterback take over for a franchise and he's comfortable in the offense and he's comfortable with the, moving the pieces around and he looks like he's got command of not just the pocket, but command in the huddle. I think that goes a long way to my confidence in Caleb Williams, even in single quarterback leagues and the deeper ones you talked about. Maybe you throw him out there and look, how many quarterback injuries did we have last year too? So you might be smart to take those second quarterbacks too.